Hey guys, ladies, this is Ego City, and today I'm looking at Pearl Market on Dragon's Teeth DLC. I want to look at a few things, few of the Easter eggs that I found, and some that other people have mentioned but not elaborated on. First of all, one that I noticed, right as you start on the US side, you run straight into a billboard. Now on the billboard is a woman's face, and it says gracefully exquisite, and it also says unforgettable beauty at the bottom. And there's a web page that's www.unforgettable-beauty.com, which unfortunately doesn't do anything. There's also a QR code which I can't get to work. Now under this sign there's some Chinese words, and I assumed that these Chinese words would basically translate into exactly the same as what's written underneath, which is gracefully exquisite. But I was wrong. So I used the Google Translate app on my Android, and after quite a while of trying to write the words out, I came up with this. Now the word actually translates to Maya, Meiya. If you Google this, you will find that Meiya is a massive power company situated in China. It's a nuclear power company as well. Part of it is in Hong Kong, where Pearl Market is set. You can see I've been on the website, you can see some nuclear power plants in the background, and also it's in China and Korea. Now if you carry on, you can go back. Now at this point I accidentally clicked on map when I first did this, and this is what it came up with. It came up with the Meiya Power Company Ltd in Hong Kong. I thought, you know what, I'll click on it, I'll have a look, see if it is anywhere near Pearl Market, see if there's anything on there that's similar to the game. So that's what I did. I had a click, looked around, couldn't really see anything at the moment, kept looking, and then I saw this. Now apparently X marks the spot, so now we've either been trolled by dice, it means generally nothing, and it's just a coincidence, or maybe there's something to do with this and the power plant, and the fact that it is a nuclear power plant. Possibly next DLC this will explode. Here I'm going to move on to something else. I saw on Reddit the other day, somebody mentioned that on the back of the buzzes and on the front of the buzzes there are two numbers. It says GK 50268. Now you can't really see it on the screen here, but take my word for it, it's 50268. And the other one was 31945. So I decided to Google these, and I thought if these are dates, it'd be a bit silly having the later date before the earlier date, so I figured that it might be an earlier century. So the first one, I went off the 2nd of May 1868, and this is what I found. I found the Meiji Restoration. Now on the 2nd of May 1868, a political program that followed the destruction of Tokugawa's shogunate in 1868, in which a collection of young leaders that set Japan on the path for centralization and imperialization. This resulted in Meiji to become the Emperor of Japan. If you read into the future of what happened, because of this and the way Japan changed, it became a military power. So on its own doesn't really mean anything, so let's carry on to the next date. The next date is the 19th of March 1945. On this date, the USS Franklin had moved 8 kilometers from the Japanese mainland and had launched 2 attacks, one on the mainland itself and the second on Kobe Harbor. Now in retaliation to this, one single Japanese jet made a precision strike on the USS Franklin, pretty much crippled it and killed about 800 people in the process, took it out of the war. It didn't sink and they managed to get it back to America. But basically looking at these two things together, I mean you can see the before and after shots there. Now from this I'm taking that maybe Japan will make it into the Final Stand DLC. Now we've already got parts of Asia, we've got Russia, we've got China, Dragon's Teeth involved North Korea, and I think there's a good chance that Japan will possibly be involved in the Final Stand. During World War II, there was no love lost between China and Japan. A lot of people know what the Nazis did to the Jews. Not a lot of people talk about what the Japanese did to the Chinese. And it was pretty gruesome, pretty bad. So there is a possibility that Japan could be in the DLC. Looking on, found this graffiti on the wall. On Pearl Market. This has been on a few walls. I managed to translate some of it. First bit at the top with the red cross and circle says do not have a, and I'm assuming that says war, but I can't find the translation to the last letter. Do not have a war. There's some English written on there. Stop the war. Love and peace. The big yellow writing says peace in China. There's nothing really relevant there for anything. So I carried on looking around on the map and I found this. I was just about to blow it up to see what happened. If you look closely, you can see these Chinese letters and some numbers. It took me quite a while to translate to what I feel this says. Now if you can see what I believe the translation says is there are abundance of playing nearly. And the number is 8623060. Is that the figure that DICE have made for reselling the game? Or could that just be a bit of random graffiti that's been put on there to make it look different? I don't know. Carrying on, I was just looking at the map, see what I could translate. Found this. Now, the right at the top just says, with little squiggles around it, just says 19 days. And then underneath, I believe it says wooden stool. Final word on the, I wasn't 100% what he said, but I think it says wooden stool, first floor. It may just be saying there's a business on the first floor called the Wooden Stool. Finally, I want to mention the X marks the spot comment that I've been seeing on Reddit. Now, I don't know where this came from. I'm not sure if this actually was legitimate. I'm not sure if this has got anything to do with anything, to be quite honest. But I have noticed that Paracel Storm has been opened quite a bit. The map has been enlarged. There's more areas we can get to. This has got to mean that there's something on this map in this area. It would make no sense to open this unless they was going to make a massive server and let more people on, and I can't see that happening. So I went on Reddit and I'm reading around, and people are saying X marks a spot, and people mentioned that it might be the Greek X. Now, the Greek X is still an X. It looks like an X. It's as simple as that. Just a bit of a funny shape. People keep mentioning the word cheat. Does this mean anything? Honestly, I don't know. It's like saying the English X and then phonetically spelling the word out. I don't know if it means anything. All I'm saying is that X in Greek may be pronounced chi. Doesn't mean that that's got to do with anything. Somebody also mentioned it could be a H. Now, I don't know where that came from. But looking at the Paracel Storm map, if it is an H, if you twist the map around, there is a clear H in the map in the area that's now been opened. So my theory is, if there's anything on this map, it's there. Now, you're going to need helicopters to get there, and I believe you're going to need about 10 people again. Personally, I'm not a big fan of the Easter eggs, which involves 100 people going over to one area on the map. I don't mind 2, but when you're going to find about 50 people just to trigger one event, it gets a bit tedious. But anyway, yeah, like I say, I believe it's there on Paracel Storm. I believe it's in the H. If what people are saying about the H is true, and assuming there is an area on the map. If you enjoyed my video, and if you leave a like, I'd appreciate it. Cheers, guys. See you next time.